Good morning, everybody. Engle here for TGI Sports Talks Sunday stream of consciousness live here on the McGrath Podcast Network. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you can catch podcasts. You can catch us, at least video podcasts. We thank all the groups that share this. Obviously, you see some of our favorites scrolling at the bottom, but there's dozens and dozens that allow us to share the show, and we appreciate that. I guess first among them right now, at least right now, is John Gonzalez for the Sports Authorities, Greg Rawlings from America's Pastime, Love of Baseball, Flo and Can over at Bottom Line Sports, Let's Talk Sports, Ken Krause over at Golf Bud Sports of All Sorts, and many, many others. And too many to mention, and we should do a better job of mentioning more of them, and I swear I'm going to try to do better at that. Quick shout out to Ralph Williams at RW Media. Ralph does some great stuff out of Ocean City, Maryland, with a Pittsburgh focus, but a national footprint, specifically the Sports Corner from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. Been a guest on that show and always enjoy it. One other quick note I want to mention real quick, and we'll do this one more time during the show. We've got coming up a fundraiser that Joe LaRussa, a follower on our show here. Where's my stream here? There we go. Joe LaRussa is sponsoring or helping. Jesus, come on. Where are you? I'm trying. Computer's giving me trouble here. There we go. Let me see if I can put this up out by itself. There we go. So check this out. It's a Jimmy Fund fundraiser. Let me get a little better shot here. There you go. Ted Williams Camp and Alumni and Friends Jimmy Fund Benefit, July 12th, 2026, 12 noon. It's at the Loon Podge Lodge at the Ted Williams Camp. That's in Lakeville, Massachusetts. There's music, there's drinks, there's food, there's giveaways. I suppose if you reach out to Joe LaRussa, you could probably buy some tickets for either the silent auction or from some of the other giveaways that they're giving. If you can't make it in person, you want to make a donation, I think you can feel free. You can reach out to, again, Joe LaRussa. He's on Facebook. You can reach out to Joe and we'll give you his contact information, or it's in there anyway, so you can reach out and take care of that. So all good stuff. We got a lot to talk about today. I'll get to your... There, I'm back. All right. I'm just a, omnipresent voice. Lots to chat about today. World Cup, USA against Belgium tomorrow night. Some great games. Listen, I'm not the biggest soccer fan in the world. We know this. I saw a game between Argentina and Cape Verde, Capo Verde, whatever you want to say. It was great the other night, Friday night. Just a great, great game. Major League Baseball, Yankees now have lost 12 out of 16, 7 out of 8. And the Rays have won 9 out of 10 in that time, by the way. We can talk about with their needs. Rendon now out 4 to 6 weeks. Another month before Fried is back. At least another month, probably, maybe longer before Judge is back. Cole not pitching as well as he did out of the gate. Now pitching, catching, third base, outfield, all places the Yankees need help. Posada. We can talk a little about this. Posada, if you want. Again, it's your show to an extent. Jose Posada talked about the product of baseball today being garbage in his mind. I don't disagree to a large extent with Jose Posada's comments. Contreras has kind of apologized for some of his outbursts. The man's been out of control basically since, April, when he got into it with the Brewers, then he got into it with the Yankees, and he got into it with the Nationals this past week. He apologized and he said he's very emotional. I don't know what's going on in his life, but elsewhere, the Padres are stinking up while the Dodgers continue to roll. The Braves are starting to lose their grip, and the Phillies are slowly creeping up. NBA, LeBron will not be a Laker next year. Well, where will he end up? We got the Jaylen Brown trade, Mitch Robinson gone, but I feel the Knicks adequately replaced him. The NFL, a little bit to talk about. Chris Johnson, very sad story. Brandon Sorsby will not sue the NFL. Thank you, Brandon. Freaking loser. WNBA, which we talked about a lot last week, Caitlin Clark comes out decrying the hatred that's going about, not just towards her, but other players. Again, death threats to this. I can't remember her name. We'll have to look at it in a little bit. The girl was suspended, the woman that was suspended for putting her fist to her throat, is getting death threats. It's just not called for, and a lot of this is nonsense. And tennis, Wimbledon, Serena's comeback flames out pretty early. First round of singles, and then the second or third round in the doubles, she had to retire due to injury. So we'll see what happens with her. She says it's not a one and done thing, so we'll see how that goes. Good morning, Rick Sherlock. How are you? Good morning, Chris. Oh God, Joey Chet. I've had to stop watching the hot dog eating contests. Joey, what did he win for the 18th time or something? Some crazy number, isn't it? 18 times he's won. Do I think he's an athlete? No, because to me, he's got an eating disorder. If I eat, how many hot dogs did he eat? If he's eating 60 hot dogs, he's got to go be regurgitating them very quickly afterwards, I would think. Good morning, Matt. Good to have you with us a little bit early this morning out in the West Coast. Mets are a huge clown show. I mean, this. Look, they had to fire Mendoza because of the manager always gets fired here, but David Stearns has got to go. Got to go. He's put together a dysfunctional, awful, boring. It's bad. It's one thing. I say this all the time, right? It's one thing to be bad. It's another thing to be bad and boring. And this Met team is just boring and bad. So good morning, Rick. Good to have you with us. I do think I was trying to find out if Cody Clemens, Rick had asked me on the roundtable show this morning, if Cody Clemens had played in Troy, and I thought he had. I think I lost it now. Let me check it out. Cody Clemens, Roger Clemens' son, who's having a pretty good year this year. How about you spell his name right? You might find it. I want to say he played in Troy. See if I can figure that out. He might have played in Amsterdam. I don't know. For the Mohawks. You would know that better than I would, Rick. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I can't really tell. Oh, here I go. Minor leagues. No, he was with the Tigers, so I doubt that he played with. Played in Toledo. He played in Erie. Played in Lakeland. He played in West Michigan in the Midwest League. So no, he did not. Didn't get a chance to take a look at that, Rick. Good to have you with us, though. You have to let a player play. The position of platoon DH is killing careers. Victor Martinez, but I don't know about these are great examples. Rowdy Tellez is never a good player. Andrew McCutcheon's time is gone. If anything, these guys are being held around too long, and maybe it's an indictment of the development of young major league players in some of these organizations. But platooning, listen, with analytics and everything else, Chris, platooning is, and again, this isn't new. People think that, people blame Tony La Russa and guys, and I tend to do the same thing. We blame the game today about analytics, but Earl Weaver was using analytics in the 60s and 70s. He platooned, again, not with computers, but with index cards. But, and listen, I have a lot of problem with the way the game's being played. We go back to Ron Bloomberg with the Yankees. They were convinced he couldn't hit left-handed pitching, so they never gave him a chance to hit left-handed pitching. He'll tell you, I interviewed Ron. 66 hot dogs. I'll give you guys a chance to, is he an athlete? Chris's question, is he an athlete? It takes some talent, I guess, to eat 66 hot dogs, but I don't know that it's athletic talent. It's dangerous, I would say. He did throw. I do remember that. Rick, don't you think that every year Every year he's got to be thrown up. I would think he does. Oh my God. I got to check on one thing here. All right, good. I just don't get it. But congratulations to Joey Chestnut on his 18th victory. By the way, there was a wedding this weekend, too. I don't know that I really care about it, but if anybody wants to get into it, we can. I do want to give apologies to the World Cup people and the soccer people. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but I was enamored with that Capo Verde Argentina game the other night. It was exciting. I mean, if a 3-2, this game was, most of the second half felt it was played on Argentina's half of the field. But then near the end of the game, Cape Verde tied the game at 2-2. They had a couple chances to go ahead. They had a couple chances once Argentina had gone ahead, I think, in extra time. And I'll get into this a little bit, too. Because I'm being told by people that I don't know what I'm talking about, that we always know how much time is left in the game. No, we don't. Sometimes you get to the end of the game and they might pull it up extra time, right? What we're gonna get. To my experience, they play 90 minutes. At the end of that second 45 minutes, then you find out how much extra time is left. So let's just say it's 8 minutes. Now they're accumulating more time. I just don't know when the game's going to end. You got to wait till the game's over to find out if there's any more extra time. And then I swear in that Cape Verde game, and maybe it's just the way the clock was being operated or whether the extra time was on or not, it felt like the time had expired and Cape Verde still had an extra chance to inbound a ball and maybe you get one play. I don't know. Or one shot. I mean, but when does that end? When the header gets hit? When the ball's kicked down to the other end of the, I don't know. It should be more self-explanatory than that. And I apologize if I'm just stupid and don't understand. So that's one problem I have. And again, I did enjoy the game the other night. Enjoyed it a lot. I'm going to watch a little bit today. And of course, I'll watch USA tomorrow night. But the other problem I have is these guys don't just flop. They look like they're going to lay out there. They're writhing in pain, waiting for somebody to come out there and euthanize them. Every guy who goes down has got a play act forever. Every one of these injuries can't be like, oh, my God, I broke my entire lower body. Messi did it in that Cape Verde game. Anyway, Matt went to the Angels game last night. Only highlight was the fireworks after. Listen, the Angels, God bless Mike Trout. He's going to start in the All-Star game if he's healthy enough. He's hitting 230. He's got some decent power numbers, I guess. And fans want to see Mike Trout, then more power to him. Some of these all-star selections, though, Ernie Clement is a really nice player. How is Ernie Clement getting the most votes in the American League for the all-star team? You don't think it's a popularity and a marketing campaign-driven award or a salute? No. Yes, it is. Sorry. He's a fine player. I don't want to take anything away from Ernie Clement. He could even make the team as a reserve, I suppose. He can't be the number one vote getter in the American League. Anyway, Angels don't win. The Angels will never win as long as Artie Moreno's there, right? What's our record now? About the only team that's eliminated in a horrible, where did I lose my, somehow I lost my standings link. Where are the Angels now? 10 games out of first place, 18 games under 500. Where are they in a wild card? I guess they're eliminated. They're 10 games out. No, I'm sorry. Actually, they're not even last place. The Royals have moved into last place. Oh, man. Kobe? Yeah, I found that out when I don't know why. Does he have a son, Cody, too? He does have a son, Kobe, right? Because I just searched for Cody Clemens. Let's check Kobe. He would have to come up with the Astros organization to have been. There's Kobe. Okay, Houston Astros farm system. He did play 9 games. I think I said earlier, I thought he played a handful of games, Rick. And he played 9 games with the Tri-City Valley Cats here in Troy, New York. He committed 15 errors. In Class A ball that year, he committed 15 errors in 32 games at third base. And he has not made it to the major leagues now. I believe he's playing in independent leagues now because he's probably 30 years old, isn't he? Or 1986, he's 40 years old. Holy moly. How do guys I watch play major leagues have kids that are 40 years old? CA, good morning. How are you? Jam-packed 250 is still going on for about half of us until after USA tomorrow. Happy 4th to you as well, CA. All you blessed Sunday as well. He's had a great, and I want to listen, Danny, fire Boone. Listen, I'm fired Aaron Boone. Not just for this. And Danny, before I go into this, by the way, on a serious note, I want to welcome Danny to the show. Danny, I didn't share this with the guys on the chat because I thought I'd wait till I could do it here. Thought I could do it Friday, and I didn't do the MLB update due to family. But Danny had a procedure. Danny's had some health issues in recent years and has had that alleviated with the procedure this past week. And we wish Danny the best. We're glad that Danny thinks he may be able to do some of the things he'd been unable to do the last few years as far as, refereeing and coaching and physical activity in general, right, Danny? So we're glad you're doing well, and we wish you the best always, as we do all of our people. But Danny, we wish you the best. I know you've had some issues in and out the last few years, and I don't like to pry, but we want to give Danny a quick shout out. Danny and I may disagree on ABS and some instant replay stuff, but we agree about most stuff. So anyway, welcome to the show this morning, Danny, and we're glad that your outlook is so much brighter, I would think, today. So congratulations on that and continued good health, my friend. As far as Boone goes, I'm not blaming his recent streak on him because look at injuries, poorly constructed roster, bad bench. You know, when I talk about Aaron Boone, I'm also talking about Cashman. Cashman has been the general manager and done some good things here. He's won World Series. Boone has not. And we had this discussion. I'm not content to be in the mix year after year. Danny is a Dodger fan. I guarantee you, I shouldn't speak for you, Danny. I guarantee you is not content to be in the mix every year. You need to win. Now, the Dodgers have won 2 in a row and very well may win 3 in a row. Yankees have been to 2 World Series since 2009 and won 1 in the last 25 years. So when I go back to 2003, 23 years. They've been to 3 World Series and won 1. So they've won 1 World Series since 2000. 26 years. They won 1 World Series. It's just not good enough. And Aaron Boone, I still have a problem with some of the things he does. And again, he doesn't necessarily have to take guys out to the woodshed in public, to the media. But I'm tired of him talking about Austin Wells and the great leadership he brings to his team game after game when he's hitting 150. Now, his options aren't much better. His only real option, if he wants to make a serious change, is to play Ben Rice at catcher. And now you got to play Goldschmidt every day. And I guarantee you he's not going to be able to stand up to that. Yankees are going to have difficulty finding a players. They need to be aggressive at the trade deadline if they want to go deep into the postseason. or just sit and pray, as Jack said. Well, our pitchers are all coming back. I don't know. I don't know that Cole's going to hold up through the whole season. I'm confident that what I'm going to get out of Schleter and Will Warren. But their top pitching prospect just hurt his shoulder. He's probably done for the year. He's not going to contribute anything this year. Fried is a month away. Rendon's out 6 weeks. It is gross, right? As I started to say, Rick pointed out that he did barf. I think he barfed on TV actually in 2005. But I got to believe every year he's got to go choke this stuff up. I mean, come on. I don't know. Canada didn't get their clocks cleaned. Well, they did. However, the winning team played, they were running a seminar on how to play soccer. Listen, Canada did very well. I mean, similar to the U.S., not a lot was expected. I mean, again, I guess getting to the round of 32 is not something Canada does all the time. It's not something the U.S. does all the time. So getting into the round of 16 was a big deal for both of these programs. The Canadian coach even said that he'd rather be in their shoes than their opponent's shoes. Because and again, I think it was taken as a slight to Morocco. I don't think he meant it that way. He meant he was proud of his team. So, hello, Paul Spada. How are you? Still ruminating over that Brown trade. 76ers. Listen, we talk more NBA in this team, this show in the last couple of months than we have a lot, mostly because of Knicks, maybe LeBron. LeBron's going to be very interesting. You can say what you want about him. He can still play at a high level, not the highest level, but a high level. And the Sixers, it's funny because Friday morning or Thursday night, I guess I had heard many reports that he narrowed his teams to Golden State and Cleveland. Well, Golden State appears to be out, and that would be a bad match. Anyway, you just could put a bunch of old guys out there and expect to win. I don't think Cleveland's a great match because I think they're further away than LeBron. But now the Sixers are in play. The Celtics might have been in play if they hadn't traded Brown. But now there's several teams in play, including the Sixers. And if the Sixers get him, they might be the favorites in the East. I disagreed with Jack's take Friday that Sixers right now, or maybe he said with LeBron, in fairness to him, had the best starting five in the league. No, because Embiid's not going to play most of that time. Knicks have, to me, and I'm biased, of course, I think the Knicks have the best starting five. Do they have the best team? Maybe not. They have the best starting five and the best chemistry in the league. That's why they won the championship. I also found it interesting that Rich Paul, LeBron's agent, no less, said that if the Knicks had not won the championship, there would not be a list. LeBron would be a Knick. If the Knicks wanted him, of course. And the Knicks have been chasing LeBron for years. You're not putting him on his team now. They just won a championship. And again, you don't mess with that chemistry. Flopping in soccer is like getting drunk and calling into work sick, so sick that you can't make it in. But the next year you're right as rain. I agree. I used to have a guy, anyway, zero concern for what paralyzing sickness had you out the previous day. I agree. These guys look like they were freaking chopped down with a chainsaw when they're laying there on the ground. Messi did it Friday against Capo Verde. Then they get up and they score a goal. Not even the next day, right? They're running around. They got two broken legs, and then 2 minutes later, they're up running around the pitch. Pitch. And I got to tell you, that bores me to death watching that stuff. It's not so much they flop, which is bad. It's the dramatics that come with it. Come on, please stop. Everything is like I was shot in the head. I was going to add something else. I used to have a guy, speaking about calling in sick, because every time he called in, he wouldn't just say, and he would never, he always called when I wasn't going to answer the phone because he could leave me a message. But when he called in, he didn't just say, I'm not feeling well. It was like, he sounded like he was minutes from expiring. God, unbelievable. Scott Kobe, I was just thinking I got Scott Kobe. How are you doing, Scott? I was going to send you a message this weekend. I hadn't gotten around to it. I apologize because I hadn't seen you in a bit. And I know the MLB update where we see you a lot of times has been a little infrequent this summer. But I was thinking about you, Scott, and I hope you and your wife are doing well. Certainly always in our thoughts. But good to have you with us. And congratulations to your Red Sox for manhandling the Yankees last weekend. Well, and I'd like to take it because I haven't had you or Mr. Knight around either. As Red Sox fans, to kind of comment on the whole Wilson Contreras thing. This guy's a freaking nut job, I think. In May, he's going after it. And I know he got hit like 6 times by the Brewers or something. But this guy's hanging out over the plate. Again, an argument I had with Jack all the time. Pitchers should be able to pitch inside. And if you're taking too much of the plate, I'm going to throw at you. And Boone, one place I do agree with him was that night the Yankees hit him. And he's staring down the pitcher. Where are you supposed to pitch this guy? His elbows are hanging over the strike zone half the time. Then he causes another issue against the Nationals the other day. Now he's apologized. He said it's an emotional time for him. I don't know. He didn't elaborate that I'm aware of, Scott. Maybe you know. But what emotional thing is happening in your life that's causing you to act like a maniac on the ball field? Danny's a great man for sure. We wish Danny the best. How often will you get shocked during a couple hours of the show, Danny, is a question. We're glad you're doing well, my friend, for sure. I hope sometime I know a couple years ago, or I don't know, was it 2 years ago, you were coming to Baltimore and that invited me out to, I think the Yankees were going to play Baltimore when you were out there. I'm not sure. I wish I could have made it then. And I hope you make another trip east at some time and we can make that happen. What's Chris got here? Roger Clemens had 5 boys. That's right. They did all start with K's, didn't they? I think that's cool. Again, you can say what you want about Roger Clemens. In fact, what I'll say is you can't have a Hall of Fame without Roger Clemens. I'll start there. You can't have a Hall of Fame without Barry Bonds. You can't have a Hall of Fame without Pete Rose. Different transgressions committed. But again, you put them in warts and all. But Roger did name his kids all with K's. Pretty cool. 4 of them played professional baseball. I think one of them, I think it's Cody, is playing pretty good baseball right now. Chris says he'd make a nickel. Oh, nickel bet. The fifth one runs a hair salon and hates baseball. I'll let that one go. Good one, Chris. American League second base, Bizarra Indians got the reserve. Are you saying that's a good thing or a bad thing, Matt? I mean, when I look at the All-Star rosters, look at the starters. I mean, the reserves are voted in by I don't think it's all the players. I think there's a group of players, a group of coaches, and managers that name the reserves and the pitchers. I want the fans to see who they want to see. I know catcher's a little thin in the American League, so Shane Langeliers for the Athletics I have no problem with. Vlad Guerrero wins at first base. He's not going to participate because of an injury. Ernie Clement is going to play second base. And I think you're saying Bizarro probably deserved it more. Clement's a fine player. Maybe deserves to be a reserve. I don't know. Again, I have to – everything I do now is going to be on impulse because I haven't compared all of these guys' stats yet. Teams were just named last night. But I'm comfortable in saying Ernie Clement probably shouldn't be the number one vote getter. So it's a marketing campaign by the Blue Jays. Great job. Shortstop, Bobby Witt. I said on the earlier show, and I've said several times, Bobby Witt is the best player in baseball that nobody talks about. Not saying he's the best player in baseball. He might be, though. He's not far away. But nobody talks about it. If he played in New York or L.A., I would trade every prospect I have. Well, not every prospect I have. I would trade a couple of top prospects for Bobby Witt today. Bobby Witt Jr., by the way, not Bobby Witt. Third base, Cam Marino, I have no problem with him. He's like on a home run binge right now. Great player. Mike Trout, fans want to see him, whatever. Byron Buxton, great player, hurt too much. Jack talked about his being enamored with him being a Yankee, and I have been too, but the problem is I'm not giving up much for him because he's hurt way too much. Aaron Judge voted in, that's fine. Injured, won't play. Jordan Alvarez, I got no problem there. And by the way, you got to have one player from each team. So guys like Rushman getting in for the Orioles as a reserve takes away a spot. Who else? I don't have a problem. I mean, Cody Bellinger's not having a great season. He's had a great season in Yankee Stadium, nowhere else. Some clutch there. Randy Arozarena, the only Mariner name to this team, with all those great pitchers. And Danny, I mentioned a guy's name earlier, and I can look again. There's a guy with the Dodgers I thought should have got named to the pitching staff and did not. Done a great job. He's 10-2 with a 2.8 ERA. Cam Schleter's there. Joe Ryan, who's going to be a target for the Yankees and many others from the Twins at the trade deadline. Michael Wacha from the Royals. Got to have somebody from the Royals. National League stars. Drake Baldwin's played well for the Braves. Freddie Freeman has played well for the Dodgers. Albies, C.J. Abrams, Muncy hasn't played a lot. Muncy probably shouldn't be on this team. Brandon Marsh. Soto deserves to be there. Andy Pages. Ohtani definitely needs to be there. Should be the leading NL vote getter. Imagine that. Ohtani and Ernie Clement. Nice to see Hunter Goodman from the Rockies get a little love. Bryce Harper was named as a legacy player. Didn't get named in the vote of fans or players and coaches. Arias, however you say his name. I don't have Drew to help me. And Logan Webb should not be on this team from the Dodgers. Jordan Walker's had a breakout season for the Cardinals. Pitchers, I don't have a lot of gripes there. It's a shame that Jacob Mizorowski was named to the team but won't pitch. I think it's due to him pitching on that Sunday. Years ago, if you pitched on Sunday, you might have pitched an inning on Tuesday because you would have thrown that day anyway, but no more. Paul Skeens is on this team instead of the guy from the Dodgers, as I mentioned. I can't think of his name right now. Do I still have that up? I do. And by the way, this guy's name snuck up on me too. Justin Robleski, or Robleski, however you say his name. 10-2. It's supposed to be a reward for what you've done the first half of this season. I mean, he's certainly pitched better than Skeens. He's pitched better than Logan Webb for sure. I would think the Dodgers would certainly not be as well off without him. Facts, even after 2 in a row, it's even more expected this season. As far as the Dodgers winning the World Series, I assume this is in regards to. Listen, and you guys can all complain about, the Dodgers and subverting the salary cap, if you will, or there's no salary cap, but subverting the luxury tax or whatever, deferring money. They found ways to, work the system. Kudos to them. But I don't think anybody can deny, and I've said this a couple of times now, they really haven't even hit on all cylinders yet. That's has been hurt a lot of the season. Muncy has hurt a lot of the season. Kyle Tucker has not played well. Some of the pitchers have been hurt. And yet this team, all they've done is accumulate the best record in baseball, clear by 5 games now, by the way. And they've got a 14-game lead over the Diamondbacks. Now, some of that's because of how badly the teams behind them have played. But so this team hasn't even hit on all, and they've got a plus 166 run differential. That is outstanding halfway through the season. Kudos to Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts has done this a couple of times. But actually, maybe more than a couple of times. They've weathered, I think it was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, before they won the World Series, I want to say. They may have gone out in the first round, but he did a great managing job. He lost his entire starting rotation for parts of that season, large parts of that season, and still won 100 games. Dave Roberts doesn't get enough credit. And it's just my opinion, but maybe because of the guy I'm stuck with. Altuve's seen better days, and Jazz doesn't deserve to be an all-star. Jazz isn't an all-star, I don't think. Is he? I did not see Jazz on a team. If he's on a team, that's ridiculous. Ben Rice is on a team. Now, some of these guys, there's going to be other guys probably named before the next couple of weeks are over. But Jazz isn't on a team. I don't think Altuve is on a team either. Maybe you just were commenting on guys that didn't make it. They certainly don't deserve to be on. By the way, just because we got a pretty good audience right now, I want to let you guys know that after today, we'll do the show tomorrow with Jack and Keith's Weekend Playbook tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern. But then I'll be off until the 20th. We won't have, I don't believe we'll have any shows because the Sunday Stream of Consciousness because we're going to Alaska. We'll be in Seattle on Tuesday, and then I think Thursday, we're leaving Seattle for Alaska. And the time difference and all that's going to cause issues. And plus, I think we have an excursion on that Sunday. Might be whale watching that day. I don't know which one it is, but I don't think we're going to have an opportunity to do a show. So I apologize for that. But we'll be back and better than ever on the 20th, I promise you. CA is relieved to hear that Danny had successfully hurdled bad health with good care. Get the best medical care here in the U.S. I don't care what anybody says. Happy birthday to former Seattle Mariner Goose Gossage. Former Seattle Mariner. Happy birthday, Goose, 75 today. Did we forget some of the other teams he was more prominent on, Chris? You root for one of them. Happy birthday, Goose. Still working on your TTMS, signing in through mail, focusing on the players from the 70s. Must have over 100. It's been a fun hobby. What is that? What are we talking about there, Matt? I'm not sure I'm following you. Listen, I love following the 70s. So when I play Stratomatic, and I play Stratomatic 365 as I mentioned, and I'll have anywhere from 4 or 5 teams going. The ones I like the most are when we play the mystery cards in the 70s. It's the funnest for me. I got a 2-team franchise right now, Phillies and Royals, in a 12-team league that is just running away with the regular season. The computer tends to get a little goofy come the playoffs. Values sound like Stephen A. A bunch of old guys. Oh, wait, he said a bunch of white guys. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish with his comments, but I'm fine being grouped in with a bunch of old guys, especially the old guys that I hang out with here and in real life. Now you sound. Oh, now I sound like Stephen A. Kessler to the Lakers as a Jazz fan. Hope he does well. Man, you are all over the place, Matt, as far as your fandom. You root for anybody in California. Oh, you're a Charger fan, so yes. Obviously, and Bolts. So I don't think I got out of you that you're a Jazz fan for today. I know you're a Yankee fan. Scotty, watch out for the Pacers in East next season. I thought about this too. Full health and Ferrick Zubik in a trade could be dangerous. We got to remember that they weren't at full strength this year. They were awful, to be fair. But they're a year removed from playing in the finals. I still don't think they're in the top. And again, for whatever reason, Jack doesn't want to, rank teams. I don't think they're anywhere as close to the top 4 in the East right now. As we stand today, before LeBron signs, and LeBron could tip the balance again, regardless of what anybody thinks about him personally, the man can still play basketball and will have an effect if he goes to a contending team, which he's gonna. It's funny. Two of the teams I think he could help the most are the T-Wolves. He's never going there. And the Spurs. Doubtful. But I don't think the Pacers rate in the East yet. They'll be better. To me right now, it's the Knicks, it's the Sixers, it's the Pistons. And then I don't know. Might be the Heat. I know that people think that they gave up the store. And they have some really good players for Giannis, but they've still got some good players there, and they could sign somebody. They could bring LeBron back. Although I don't know if he's a great fit with Bam and Giannis. You need somebody to space the floor there a little bit better, but he's going to have an impact wherever he goes. Right now, the Pacers to me would be, fighting with the Celtics. To me, are like not in the top 4 anymore. I find it comical that they kind of, I guess, symbolically anyway, blame Jaylen Brown, for their failures the last couple of years, but the coach stays. The coach who has no clue, who makes no adjustments as far as their approach on offense, he's still there. I think Missoula's probably the maybe the worst coach in the Eastern Conference. Maybe in basketball. Jack and James had a debate about the bigger trade, Giannis or LaFlop. LaFlop now has made it about him. How? He wants to go somewhere and finish his career. And again, Rick, we're all entitled to our opinions, so you understand where I'm coming from here. I mean, I don't really want to come off as a LeBron defender, but how? Again, give me an example. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've missed something. But how has LeBron made this about him? I will say this. I found it interesting that he didn't tell the Lakers he wasn't coming back until after Bronny got his extension, which says to me he doesn't want to play with Bronny in his next stop. and he wanted to make sure that he got a new contract. But other than that, where has he made it about him? And by the way, every player makes it about him. They want to go someplace where they can win. And this guy knew this year he wasn't the number one guy in that team, that Luka was, and Reeves was probably the second guy. And he stepped back until the playoffs when they were out, and he had to step back up. And if you don't think he can help the Spurs or he can help the Heat, he may not be a great fit. The guy wins. Again, I think we get fatigued. We get fatigued with players. He's been around 20 plus years, right? Everybody gets fatigued with players in whatever sport we're talking about. We don't love guys if they're good over an extended period of time. We've looked for reasons to knock them down. Not you personally, Rick. In general, this country. We do it all the time. We build up a Tiger Woods. We can't wait to knock him down. We build up a Tom Brady. We can't wait to knock him down. Find ways to knock guys down. We build up a LeBron when he's 18 and 20. I don't remember anybody hating him then. And we want to knock him down. And again, don't take that personally, Rick. This is just an overall view of the world. The guy can still play basketball. I don't like him personally. I don't like the flopping necessarily, but again, it sounds bad. Well, watch World Cup soccer and tell me that flopping's bad in the NBA. Please stop it. It is bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's horrendous on the World Cup stage. Will the Pacers bring back Reggie Miller? Probably better off bring back Cheryl Miller. We're doing okay. It's been a roller coaster, but on the upswing now. Finally, good. You two are in our thoughts and prayers all the time too, Scott. And again, I hadn't seen you recently, so I wanted to check in with you. As I checked in with Danny this week, and I try to check in with people if I haven't seen them in a bit. So I'm glad to hear that. Contreras apologized. What did he apologize, though? I mean, he said that there was no place on the field for that behavior. He's had a lot of things going on in his country. Is he Venezuelan? I think he is. I guess I can get it. By the way, never mind. I don't want to get in politics today. But Venezuela is a classic example of why we should not be considering some of the ways we're trending here. Agree. Pitchers should pitch to both sides of the plate. And buzz hitters. Hello. JB's here. Hello, JB. Kramer at Fantasy Camp plunked Pepitone because Kramer on the plate. I agree 100%. And Kramer had it right. You don't get to have both sides of the plate. For decades, 100 years, the outside part of the plate belonged to the pitchers. And if you tried to take it as a hitter, you were going to get buzzed or hit. And if your pitcher hit somebody pointed this out, it might have been Danny. Drysdale's opinion was, you hit one of mine, I'll hit two of yours. Policing yourself on the field is not a bad thing. Again, you shouldn't be throwing at guys' heads. Pitching inside is part of the game, and now pitchers don't do it. They allow hitters to have that outside of the pitch. That's why you got guys hitting, a ton of more guys than ever hitting so many home runs. That's all they're doing, by the way. I talked about Jose Posada talking about the garbage product we have. Do you know that the average Major League Baseball batting average right now is like 239 or something? The lowest since 1968. 239. Are you kidding me? And that's a direct result of the three true outcomes: home runs, strikeouts, walks. We don't care about striking out 210 times. We don't care because you're going to hit 40 home runs. It's not good for the game. 239. I had this argument with the Mad New Yorker. Maybe he's there. I don't know. I had this argument for years with him. That Tony Gwynn would eat these guys up today. He said, oh, Tony Gwynn would never hit what he hits today because pitchers are too good. Pitchers aren't too good. The approach to hitting is awful. That's what's no good. Pitchers are too good. They throw too hard. Freaking Sandy Koufax threw 100 miles an hour with an off-the-table curveball, and yes, he dominated, but guys hit him at times. Guys aren't too good. You don't think Tony Gwynn would hit 340 today? Bet your ass he would. He'd also be 60 years old. He'd hit 340. All of George's kids are named George. Yes. I got to be confusing around the dinner table. George, do the dishes. George Edmund Foreman. They're all George Edmund Foreman? You find out. Now I need to know. Let me look at his kids. Does it tell me here? It's too much information here. I got to narrow this search down. Hold on. George Foreman kids. I don't know about the Edmund part. I do name all his kids. He had 5 sons and 7 daughters. He famously named all his sons. Yes, all his sons were named George Edmund Foreman to create the sense of unity among them. And they go by specific nicknames, such as Junior, the 3rd, the 4th, 5th, 6th, to differentiate themselves. His daughters, he named all different names. He does have a Georgetta in there, though. He's got one Georgetta. Good recollection. Ben Rice for getting reserve. Good start for him. I agree. Rice has struggled a little bit of late, I think, with so much of the offensive weight coming to him with Judge out, Bellinger struggling, pretty much the whole lineup struggling around him. Even Goldschmidt, who had a great 2 months, has cooled off here the last couple of weeks. Can't expect him to go out there and hit hard-throwing right-handers. You watch Goldschmidt against hard-throwing right-handers, and his bat speed is about what mine is at 66 years old. But kudos to Ben Rice. He should be an all-star. Robleski for Dodgers. He's 10-2. 100%. 2.80 ERA. So if I'm going to reward guys for half a season, he's got to get rewarded. Robleski should be the pitcher, no doubt. 10 wins. I can find guys to remove. I thought I couldn't remove for a minute Logan Webb because he'd be the only Giant, but Arias, whatever the freak his name is, he's on the team. So that requirement is met. I'm not even sure. Do we need to keep that requirement, by the way, that every team gets a representative? I don't know. Good morning, Joe LaRussa. You're hurting for registrations for the Jimmy Fund event. I'll put it up again. I did show this at the beginning, and I'll show it again right now. Let me scroll back up. So the Jimmy Fund, Ted Williams Camp Alumni and Friends Jimmy Fund Benefit, July 12th, 2026 at 12 noon. It's at the Loon Pond Lodge at the Ted Williams Camp in Lakeville, Mass. Music, bingo, drink, silent auctions at the door. Anybody who's in that area, certainly feel free to go. Unfortunately, I'll be in Alaska. But again, I don't know, Joe, I mentioned at the top of the show, and by the way, there's all kinds of stuff, as I said, music and drinks, food, and you get $30 per person, lunch is included. You can buy tickets to win some of the prizes and participate in the silent auction. If some of this can be done remotely, Joe, maybe tell people how they can reach out to you. So anyway, it's a great cause. So feel free to reach out there and make a donation. And again, if there's a way to participate virtually, even buy tickets for the auction or whatnot, or even make a $30 donation, which send me a link to something, and maybe it's in there. If I can buy a ticket, I probably will, Joe. I haven't done it yet, and I'm glad you reminded me because I'm leaving here pretty quick. And then Joe's got the link here, which I can't click on, but I don't know if you can click on it in there or not, but you can copy and paste that. And I'm definitely going to buy a ticket, Joe. You can't make it, obviously, but I'll definitely look to do that. Link's copied on my page. I have shared it several times to my personal page and to the TGI Sports Talk page. So, again, great event, great cause. Feel free to participate. Just sending cards to retired guys. Oh, I got you. I see a lot of guys. I've had guys on the show. Greg Pryor, former Yankee, Royal, Ranger, White Sox. I know he does a lot of that. Jim Sundberg has been on the show. They do a lot of that. I know Greg will sign it. Got a bunch of guys on. Brett Saberhagen. Mention my name. They'll probably never get your card back. Canada couldn't incentivize players as much as Switzerland. Well, what's that incentive, by the way? Because, again, I don't know what these guys earn, but some of these guys have the opportunity to play could play for multiple teams because of heritage and whatnot. And they're pretty liberal, I think, with some of those restrictions. In fact, I think it's the same exact restrictions are in place that the Baseball World Cup has. So, and again, I think they're pretty liberal. I think it goes as far as your grandparents. If they have some kind of heritage to a country, you can play for that country. U.S., I think half the team is made up of guys who are not from U.S., but I don't know what the incentivize is. So if you want to elaborate there, please do, because I don't know. I really don't. William Pulver. Hope you had a great 4th of July. Hope you all had a great 4th of July, safe and happy, and saw some great fireworks and whatnot. But good to have you with us here today, Billy. Hope you're doing well. Oh my God. Whatever. It's all the talking heads and podcasts are talking about. Where is he going? Oh, well, how's he made that about him? Again, this is where I made it about LeBron today. He didn't call me and say, talk about me. It's news. You can only talk about the World Cup for so much. I can only talk about the Yankees losing for so long. Where LeBron going is news, and you're going to hear about it in every single podcast. I mean, again, how does LeBron get blamed for that? I must look at it differently. This part I don't necessarily disagree with, right? Lakers were held hostage enough by LBJ, and the major turning point was signing his son. I'll just leave it at that. But to want $96 million over 2 years, I don't think anybody's giving him $96 million over 2 years. Nobody can. Nobody's that far under the cap that they can do that. Again, here's the thing. Was it the Lakers' decision or LeBron's decision? What came first, the chicken or the egg? So the Lakers made the correct move to open up that salary. I'm not saying they didn't either. I don't think he fits on the Lakers. I think they're better off building a team that fits better around Luka than LeBron at this point. That does not mean that LeBron does not have value to another team, because he does. LeBron would be perfect for the Spurs. I'm going to say it 1,000 times. He's probably not going to sign there, and it's probably going to be a huge mistake. Let's pick up somebody who will help us in the long run. Again, I get it. Just don't tell me he's done. Lakers fan in the 80s and 90s loved Mullen in Golden State when they were this is Matt, sorry. So he was a Lakers fan in the 80s and 90s, loved Mullen in Golden State when Kirilenko played with Utah. Then when Kirilenko played with Utah, started following them because of my Russian heritage. Well, that's good. Good stuff. Free t-shirt. I don't know what that is. Oh, with the registration. The link to donate is there is a link to donate. Okay, so guys, catch that link on Everbright. I think you can find it through what Joe put up, and I'll definitely be doing that before I head for Seattle in 2 days. Danny's going to check it out. Good for you, Danny. Thank you so much. I knew Danny would jump in there. Bronny will go from 3 points to 6. Who knows what's going to happen with Bronny now? I mean, again, I'm in no way saying, I had this conversation with Jack a lot. I mean, Bronny's not shown that he can be an NBA player or a contributing NBA player of any sort. And again, while I'm not, I hate to come off it as a LeBron apologist, because one of the biggest problems I have with LeBron is Bronny. He, in this case, was a horrible dad. Forget about basketball. You didn't do right by your son. You wanted to play with your son so badly that you did not give him the advice he should have got when he came out of USC. There's no way Bronny was ready for the NBA, and we don't know. You can tell me Bronny wouldn't be any good, and you're wrong. You could be wrong. You're wrong that you know, because nobody knows. Nobody can know the unknowable. We can have an opinion, but if Bronny stayed in school another year or 2 years, we don't know what Bronny could have become. And I don't care how much he was recruited or wasn't recruited. A lot of guys who were not recruited at all have become really good players. And I'm not saying I know he would have. I'm telling you, we don't know what Bronny, and we will never know what Bronny could have been. It may have been no more than he is now. It may have been no more than that. But nobody can know that. Go ahead, point to his college stats. He was less than a year removed from a serious heart issue, played half a season in college, and it improved throughout that half a season. He only averaged 4 or 5 points a game. But he had improved. His stamina had improved. He needed at least a year, probably 2. He probably should have played his entire college career to be able to find out what kind of player he really was. But LeBron, not doing what a good dad should have done, and said, Bronny, you really need some seasoning. You'll make your money, and if you don't make your money, I'll just give it to you. Whatever. I don't care what he said at that point. No, I don't think kids ought to just live off their parents' money, by the way. I don't care how much money their parents have. But he gave him bad advice because he wanted to play with him. He should have stayed in school. But no. I don't know. Again, we can argue until we're blue in the face. We'll never know how good that Bronny could be. All right, we hit our hour mark here. Oh, what do you got here? Sorry, I missed something. Bronny, I already saw that. Right. We ran out of comments. That never happens at 10 o'clock, guys. What else we got? So we haven't talked about a lot of stuff. We continue to talk what we're talking about. Who else is out there? Brian, Taylor Phillips. Check out Taylor Phillips, by the way. at the Michigan Truth podcast. One guy I really want to get into the scroll down here so we see that. Taylor is really embedded in the Detroit sports world, and plus some other stuff too. But good to have you here with us. So, what else? What was I going to talk about? What haven't we talked about? In Rick's defense, that's exactly what he's saying. LBJ wanted to make history and play with his son. Bad decision. Well, that again, that's a totally different situation than today. And if Rick, I only apologize if I misunderstood what you said. If you meant LeBron made that all about himself, well, then I 100% agree. But not now. He doesn't have any control over who talks about him. And he can still play. So there's still that to talk about. We got the what else is going on? Knicks had to let Mitch Robinson go. I think people are more worried about this. I'm not worried about this, by the way. I think Drummond coming in here is more than adequate. Might even be a better player than Mitchell Robinson because I think he'll play better on the offensive end when they need him. And Mitch Robinson played really good in spurts in the playoffs, especially against Wemby. So they'll miss him a little bit. I would love to have somebody comment on Jose Posada and his comments about baseball. Garbage sport. Let me find some of those comments. You guys can feel free to put some comments up and we'll build some up and go from there. And if we're tired out because of the holiday weekend, then, we can end early, but we'll try to keep this going. Oh, shoot. Oh, here we go. Garbage Pail Kids. So this is from an article from the great Kevin Kernan. I've had Kevin Kernan on the show several times. Great sports writer with the New York Post for decades. And Kevin and I are on the same. Kevin's seen a lot more baseball than I have. He's covered teams on a daily basis. He's seen baseball for, as longer than I have. Well, as long as I have or any of us have. I'm not saying you have to agree with his opinion, but his thinking on Major League Baseball lines up with my own a lot. Not just the way the game is played, but the influx of technology, which is, again, there's an argument for it. There's an argument against it. I'm not necessarily for it, but just to read you a couple things that Jorge had to say. The main thing he said is the baseball being played today is straight up garbage. And Kevin points out that when Posada was playing with the Yankees, he was always the first player he'd go to for an unvarnished state of the team comment. What else did he say here? I can't watch today's baseball. Straight up garbage. Pitchers can't command. Pitchers can't hit. The average Major League Baseball batting average is .239, tied for lowest since 1968. And this is Kevin's comments now, and I might add, and every former pitcher I know will concur, since 1969, baseball has done everything in its power to favor hitters over the pitchers. I say that every day, including smaller ballparks, lethal bats, livelier balls, smaller strike zones, the pitch clock, and so much more that favors a launch angle hitter who can't make contact. 100%, Kevin. Hitters can't put the ball in play because of the Ivy League nerds. This is Kevin again. Running the game are obsessed with launch angle, and because those nerds don't want any pushback from anyone, veteran coaches, managers, scouts, and men who could teach the game, they've all been replaced by yes men robots who only read metrics. Kevin Kernan, Ball9 Sports, by the way, or Ball9.com, Ball9.com. Ball9.com is a great baseball site, by the way. They've got podcasts, they've got articles, they've got great sports writers like Kevin Kernan who are contributing. Kevin's been a contributor here since first time I chatted with him. He talked to a scout. This is Kevin again. Talked to a scout who watched the extremely talented all-stars starter Cam Schleter get hit around by the Tigers on Tuesday night in the Yankees 9-3 loss. 4 home runs in the first 3 innings, told balldine.com. And read it carefully, because if you're not getting inside information like this from anywhere, because you're not getting any inside information like this from anywhere else. Schleter got hammered. It took until late in the 3rd inning to use his very solid curveball, and he still hasn't thrown one changeup. He was cutter fastball only. His delivery was off. No trip to the mound by the pitching coach or manager to slow down his front side and the body so his arm could get back on time. Both cutter and fastball velocity was between 95 and 98. Both were middle of the zone. Not one person could help him through this issue or has taught him or the catcher how to stop the bleeding. All he had to do was throw some changeups and curveballs to slow the hitters down, but he struck out 5. Woohoo! Good stuff. It goes on from there. Awesome article by Kevin. I'm sorry. You could agree or disagree. Kevin Kernan knows what he's talking about. He does go into some of the other stuff about, the robots and whatnot, but I'll leave it at that. Again, the game is garbage because of the way it's being taught or not being taught at all. God, it hurts. Bryce is a better player than Bronny in my. I haven't seen. Again, you saw him play, so that's fine. Everybody's entitled to that opinion. I'm not telling you how good or bad Bryce or Bronny is. I haven't seen Bryce play, quite frankly. I have seen Bronny play. I've seen partial games from high school, and he was probably better in high school than he was in college. But again, he played a half a season in college. A half a season. There is no way anybody can tell me they know exactly what Bronny would have been if he'd played his whole college career. Didn't belong coming out of school. That's my only point. I'm not telling you Bronny would have been better than Bryce, better than LeBron, or the worst player ever to play in the NBA. I'm not telling you I know. But nobody else does either. Nobody knows what would have happened if he stayed in school 3 years. You can have an opinion. Danny just gave an opinion. It's fair. Rick gave an opinion that Bronny or LeBron, or LaFleur makes stuff all about him. It's fine. As bad as the New York Yankees are playing, still my team. Well, they should be. You should never change your team because they stink. If I did, I never would have been a Yankee fan in the first place because they were awful when I started following them 60 years ago. Oof. That's hard to say. That hurts. That hurts to my core. I'm in no way an WNBA fan, but I'm taking my daughter to the Wednesday Sparks game only to watch Sophie Cunningham, my new favorite player today. Rick, did you mention Sophie Cunningham the other day? I did mention Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham made herself a fortune on a point. She has T-shirts and a calendar and more. She doesn't back down. This is the woman you talked about the other day, right? That I think you were impressed the way she looked and the way she played. So Danny's going to go see Sophie. On Caitlin Clark's comments, she talked about. Let me get her comments here, so I don't misrepresent what she said. Okay. She condemned hatred. Okay, let me go to here. Here's her comment. The harassment, the hate, none of it is okay. The 2-time NBA All-Star said there should never be a question of character. Like I've always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So none of that is okay, and I don't want anyone to experience that. So I think she's talking, again, speaking for myself, I think she's talking about both the treatment she's gotten and the way some of the, this Alyssa Thomas from the Mercury, who was suspended, has received death threats and been called racial slurs after being suspended one game for contacting Clark's throat with a fist. You can think what you want of Alyssa Thomas, and you can think what you want of that play. Nobody in sports, and this has become, the WNBA is a little bit different as far as threatening players, because this is more of a, I'm sorry, it's a racial thing. It's a sexuality thing. It's a lot of things in the WNBA. And there's a lot of jealousy and there's a lot of other emotions. But death threats and threats of physical violence to a player's family is like become rampant in all of sports. And at least on the men's side, it's more because of the betting that people can do. The sports books, the online sports books are so prevalent. You can bet on anything that if you lose money and a player costs you money, people are now threatening them on social media, threatening them to come to their house and harm their family. None of this is okay. That's not okay. And the stuff, I'm sorry. Last week I went on a tirade talking about the WNBA, and they have bought into this. Caitlin Clark can say what she wants. She can say what she wants, but the league has bought into this because they think it's a great way, because they're getting publicity. And a lot of people's minds, the only bad publicity is no publicity. Her coach, Stephanie White, said, I think for the league as a whole, there's been so much more toxicity. I can't say it. Racism, homophobia, straight up hateful nonsense. And it's absolutely unacceptable. I agree. But the league has kind of, I think, in a way, bought into this because it's brought more eyeballs to the league. You can tell me I'm wrong. Clark also expressed frustration regarding the level of attention focused on this incident. When I turned on the TV on Sunday and that game was on Wednesday, and that's all people are talking about, including me, I was talking about it. I feel like it's such a disservice to the rest of the league. But the league doesn't do anything to dissuade the conversation. And maybe there needs to be something else. I don't know. What is it? Maybe there needs to be better play. Maybe there needs to be something else. So the only thing to talk about is Caitlin Clark, race, and sexuality. So she feels it's a disservice to the rest of the league. I get that. I get it. And you have to talk about it. But to continue to beat down a narrative to be taken to other places, that's really not acceptable. Again, who's to blame? Is it the media? Is it the league? Is it the players? I think there's plenty of blame to go around. Maybe I should stop talking about it. I don't know. No, I'm not. Jack had talked about Friday, to what Matt's alluding to, that he's convinced that the 76ers are the best fit for LeBron. I think it's a good fit. I think it's Spurs. Will he go? And Jack's convinced he'll go there. I think it's very possible he'll go there. I'm not convinced. Because, again, I don't know exactly what LeBron's motives are, right? Does he want the $96 million? Because he's not getting that from everybody. I'm pretty sure the Sixers can't pay him $96 million over the next 2 years. He's not getting that from probably anybody, unless he wants to go lose. He can get it from a losing team. Contenders are all, nobody's got $96 or $48 million under the cap. Nobody. Not without making major adjustments to your roster. So LeBron, and I think LeBron knows this. I don't think LeBron thinks he's getting $96 million for the next 2 years. I really don't. I don't know that. It's opinion. I think he fits with the Spurs best. Do I think he'd fit with the Sixers? Yes. Would I want that to happen as a Knicks fan? No, because I think LeBron can hurt the Knicks. Do I think the Sixers are a serious contender? Only if Embiid can find a way to stay healthy, and he hasn't done that in I don't know how long. I still find it really interesting that Rich Paul said if the Knicks, and again, it's water under the bridge because the Knicks did win a championship, but he said point blank, if the Knicks had not won the championship, there wouldn't be a list of teams. It would be the Knicks. I'm not sure how they would have made it work, as James Dolan doesn't want to go over the second apron. The average ticket is 18 to 21 to a Sparks game. It's $75 to go watch Caitlin Clark. And in my opinion, more so. Oh, excuse me. Sorry if that came out. I'm starting to think I have a gallbladder issue, but I'm not a doctor, so I should probably go see one. I'm not sure what you're saying. In your opinion, you'd rather see Sophie for 18 to 21 than Caitlin for 75, Danny? Is that what we're saying? So, Danny, I know with your issues, I don't think you were here last Sunday. We talked a lot about Caitlin Clark in the league. So I'm going to ask you your opinion here. Does the league need Caitlin Clark as much as it's portrayed? I say yes. I mean, Rick pointed out, while they still did like their third best TV rating ever, that last Friday or Saturday night's game, whatever it was, Rick, you can remind us, that while it was still a great audience, relatively speaking, to WNBA games, it wasn't as much as a normal game featuring Caitlin Clark because she was out. The Fever played and still had like the third highest rating they ever had, but it was about half of what they had when Caitlin Clark and the Fever had appeared on ABC or CBS previously. So does the league need Caitlin Clark? And I would love an opinion. Am I right or am I wrong in your guys' opinions? Again, we all have, sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. Do you think the league is kind of looking the other way when it comes to the toxic nature, because I can't say the word for some reason, the toxic nature in the league, the racism, the homophobia, and the straight up nonsense, as these are Caitlin Clark's words? Is the league turning a blind eye to that because they're getting publicity that they wouldn't otherwise get? It's not great publicity, but it's some. Last Friday night, right? Absolutely, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA without hesitation. She'll be recognized as the one that turned the WNBA around. No, they wouldn't have that TV contract. I agree. And I know there's a certain amount of jealousy that makes no sense. And I know she's trying to diffuse some of the toxic nature and toxic environment around this issue. But I didn't understand last year. I don't understand now how these players are jealous unless it comes down to the things that we've pointed out before, the racism, the homophobia, whatever. And I do think the league is kind of looking the other way. Yeah, they suspend players, but I think in a way they like this Caitlin Clark against the world narrative. And I do think she's important to the league. But I do think they're exploiting her in ways maybe they shouldn't. Absolutely. She's the goose that laid the golden egg. They injure her to the point she can't play. The league loses. 100%. I agree with that. But my question, my real question is the league, again, are they okay with this Caitlin Clark against the world narrative because it brings more eyeballs? Hello, Michael Gott. How are you? It's always been a conundrum for Michael. Should sports mix in politics and social issues, or should be left alone? In a perfect world, it would be left alone, right? And I mostly have been able to separate, right? Whenever social issues or politics come into sports, be it Colin Kaepernick, be it whoever, I've always, and other things too, right? Players kneeling, whatever it might be, a gazillion things. To me, there's the sport and then there's the other story. Two different things. I may not like this, but I can still watch the game, right? You're never going to see me ever say because of a player's political views. I may not like them. I don't like actors' political views, right? But I don't not go watch their movies because of it. I would have missed a lot of great movies if I did. That's their right to be wrong. Sorry. That's their right to think whatever they want. I have a bigger issue with, violence against women and things that are, should be, and I think are now looked at a little bit harsher by sports leagues. But I've always been able, those people I will not root for. But I'll watch a football game and worry about the other thing over here. I can be against this and for this at the same time. I don't know why we have to have extremes. Like, I'm never going to watch a game ever again, which is total BS, because every single person I ever saw on social media say that has gone back to the NFL, to use them as a for instance. But I think the league, and I don't think the NFL exploited that. They didn't need to, right? I think that was harmful to the NFL, that particular situation. But I think the WNBA is a little bit different, because I do think they're exploiting it. And I do think what they gain in the short term is going to hurt them in the long term. They have a weak commissioner and terrible refereeing. That's fair. But again, I think that plays into my my comments that the league is okay that this continues. And I think in the short term, they do get extra eyeballs, whether it's in person or on TV. In the long term, I think it'll hurt them. Because as you said before, Rick, if she gets hurt and her game suffers, the league suffers. I'd say that a lot. I do say that a lot. I usually say it in jest, Danny, though. Right? Everybody has a right to their opinion. I say everybody has a right to be wrong. So do I. Because again, I'll tell you guys, and I repeat myself a lot because I don't know who's there, who's here when I say it, but I have very strong opinions, whether it's what we talk about here daily, or I'm disagreeing with Rick about LeBron, or you about ABS, or somebody else about politics. I mean, I have very strong opinions, but I also understand that I don't have the monopoly on what's right and what's wrong. Nobody does. So, but I joke around about it too. And some people probably take me seriously. Again, we've lost followers here who take stuff way too seriously. I mean, the stuff we do here is not, this isn't, we're not changing the world here. My opinions, if somebody's offended by something on this show I say or you guys say, it's kind of comical in my mind. Oh, I know. It is kind of comical. If you get offended by me, then, I mean, you got to really reevaluate your whole life. Sorry. It's just the way I'm looking at it. We got a half hour to go. The level of fan return is the question. The level of fan returns is the question. You stop watching the NBA, when they went on strike and returned years later in a limited way. You returned. I got you. Yeah, I get it. And the WNBA is going to have a hard time keeping those fans. That's kind of to my point, Rick, right? I think the gains that they make, if they continue to kind of look the other way on this, the gains they make are not going to be worth the long-term damage they do to their game. I feel the same way. Rick is talking about the NBA and work stoppages, right? I feel the same way about baseball. I really don't know if we get a work stoppage, and we're going to get a work stoppage. We're going to get a lockout in December at a minimum, and we're likely going to have a work stoppage come March. And if it leaks into the regular season, I don't care if we lose all of spring training. That whatever. But if we have a work stoppage that affects the number of regular season games, if we don't play a 162-game schedule next year, it's going to affect the way I watch baseball probably. I say that now. It's going to affect the way I watch baseball the rest of my life. I say that now. I tell you, and again, I'm a big believer in this, that, until an event is put in front of you, you have no idea how you'll react. Everybody has an opinion on how they react if they got sick or their family was put in danger, or who knows, whatever the situation might be. A shooter, God forbid, should come into your grocery store and you're there. I know how I want to react in every situation. I truly believe nobody knows how to react until they're in that situation. And again, that's an opinion as well. But I think, again, when it comes to, let's say the NBA or the Major League Baseball shuts down next year, I say, you're going to lose me. Could I live the rest of my life without baseball? I don't know if I could, because baseball is in my blood so much, which is one of the reasons I'm so angry. I'm so bitterly angry at what goes on in baseball today. The way it's a garbage. I agree with Jorge Posada that it's garbage for the most part. There's good things, but the overall product is garbage, crap. And that's why I'm angry about my game, because it's ingrained in my blood, and you've really ruined it in so many ways. Danny loves debating, and all honestly, I wasn't for ABS, but the more I watch it, the faster I become a fan. It's funny because I wasn't for it, and the more I watch it, the more I become against it. Again, I don't say it's a matter of taste. It's just a matter of I'm not good with change. Not good with change. And again, I don't know whether I think this more favors pitchers, quite frankly, than hitters, right? So this is the one thing when I was reading Kevin Kernan's comments from his article, I'll make sure I give Kevin proper credit from ball9.com. Go read the whole article. It's a really good article. I'll post. I think I might have shared it. I think I shared it on my personal page anyway. I agree. I've said this 100 times on this show that since 1968, all these things are things that have hurt the pitchers. And Major League Baseball is very short-sighted when it comes to this stuff. They're I guess maybe they're doing it, because I'm going to be dead someday. And the people that they're catering to today are going to be alive for another 50 years. I'm not. I don't think. I may stick around just to harass you guys till I'm 120. I don't know. Matt played soccer as a kid, not really into the sport now. However, the World Cup, it has been exciting, Matt. I'm glad you brought that up, because I brought it up at the beginning. And listen, my thoughts on soccer are well known on this show. I'm not a big soccer fan. I'm a big USA fan, though, and I root for the USA, and I'm watching the soccer mostly for them. But I did watch, everybody knows what I say about my granddaughter, that if she kicks the ball, I admonish her. pick it up and throw it. But I did get caught up, kind of by accident, in the Argentina Capo Verde game the other night. There's some exciting plays. If 1-0 games can be exciting. It's all the stuff around it that, the fact that I don't know exactly how much time is left. And I got into a little discussion with my stepson, and he said, yes, you do. It's right there. If we're going to 45 minutes, counting up to 45 minutes in the second half, when it's over, they're going to tell you how much extra time there is. It might be 3 minutes. It might be 2 minutes. It might be 8 minutes. Well, that's fine. Then they play that. But I don't know how much extra time's accumulating there. I don't know when the game's ending. And it's not like baseball. That was brought up to me. Well, you don't know when a baseball game's ending. Yeah, I do. When somebody hits a home run or gets the last out, right? Or somebody scores a go-ahead run in extra innings. I mean, I know when the game's going to end. I know when it's over, I should say. I don't know watching it when it will end. No. But I do know what will end the game. I don't in soccer know what will end the game. I swear the Cape Verde game went past when extra time had expired. Then there's extra time because there's extra time and then there's overtime, which they call extra time. Stop confusing me. Put up some kind of running clock so I know. We're going to count to 45 and then that's going to be it. And now, why can't you show me the extra time that's accumulating as it's accumulating during the second half? How hard is that? So at least I know, okay, there's going to be 4 more minutes after this. And then they play that 4 minutes and there might be 2 minutes after that. And then they play that 2 minutes and then I'm going to get 30 full minutes. And then if we go to the end of 30 minutes, we're going to change the game entirely. We ain't even going to play any more soccer. We're going to have a shootout. No way you should be deciding a World Cup. And they would deserve it if they get to the final and have a great World Cup. And we get France and Argentina. And they're 2-2. And we played 90 minutes and we played extra time and we played more extra time. And then we played the 30-minute extra time. And we're still tied at 2-2 or 3-3, whatever it is. We've seen a great game. And then it's going to end on a shootout. It's like ending the World Series with a home run derby. Seriously? And also stop your flopping. Actually, you can continue to flop, I guess. Doesn't matter to me. But stop the dramatics that look like you want to, you're going to have to go to the hospital because you broke both your legs when you got tripped. Like we used to trip kids in school, the playground. And you fall down, you cry like a little kid just because you fell down. And I should cry because I must be hurt. Stop with the dramatics, man. Kudos to you, Danny. You learned very well. I do have the right to be wrong. We all have the right to be wrong. I will say this about you, Danny. You are a quick learner. Well done, my friend. Oh, my God. Anyway. Sorry, I checked my phone. We got company arriving. What else haven't we talked about today? We talked about a lot of stuff. Covered the All-Star game. Is there anything I didn't talk about? Talked about the Dodgers. We talked about the Braves a little bit. Braves still continue to slide, man, since the last time we talked. They're below 500 again. The Phillies have made up another game. I really thought the Braves were the real deal. Injuries have really, again, it's what I said last week, is you find out about these teams, who they really are, when injuries strike. And losing Acuna and Strider, specifically, and some others probably, with the Braves has really put a damper in them. And I don't think they're the major obstacle for the Dodgers anymore. I really believe it's the Phillies, who have played great baseball for Don Mattingly. Trade deadline's coming up. Scooble's going to be on the block. Who else might be on the block? I had this up here. Do you like the way the All-Star voting's handled, by the way? Players and, I'm sorry, fans, and then we have a runoff of the top two. Any news in the NFL? I was looking at Major League Baseball. I don't know. I guess Skubal's going to be the big chip on the market, right? Joe Ryan from the Twins is going to be traded. Any number of guys for the Mets could be on the trading block. Yankees will definitely be looking for a catcher. I don't know that there's any catchers that are really going to be gettable. It's going to be interesting though too, because who's going to give up? Who's going to give up with the labor uncertainty? Who's going to give up a bunch of money? And Skubal's not signing an extension with anybody when he gets traded. Jack talked about the Yankees giving up, top prospects and getting Skubal if they knew they could sign him. Well, he's not going to sign. He's going to go to free agency. Although he might be better off getting a big extension right now with whoever he gets traded to, because when the labor we go on strike, he didn't get no money. And he also could be limited number of years he could sign for based on what the Major League Baseball is already offering. But your team, who's your team? What does your team need? Dodgers? I don't know what you need, Danny. You're probably going to add pitching because you always add pitching. I did talk about did they? I mean, I didn't think there was any appearance fees at Wimbledon. Let's see. Let's find out. That's a good question, though. Yeah, there you go. Oh, through their career. What about now? Fees at Wimbledon 2026. It's a good question, Danny. No. So, again, at least what I'm seeing here, neither of these players received any appearance fees for coming to Wimbledon, at least through legal means or above board means. I don't know about legal. Grand Slam tournaments like Wimbledon strictly prohibit appearance fees for any player, as their prestige mandatory rule books are designed to guarantee top competition without financial guarantees. Now, whether somebody gave money under the table, I don't know. And as we talked about earlier, Serena got beat in her first round matches in singles, and her and Venus were a highly anticipated doubles team as a wild card, and they officially withdrew before their first round match due to I thought they retired during a match, but she officially withdrew before their first round match due to Serena's injury. And Serena says this isn't a one-time thing. She says she's going to continue. Danny likes the voting in the All-Star ballots, but you're a homer. I voted well, there you go. I mean, as I said before, it becomes a marketing thing and a ballot stuffing thing. Ernie Clement is a fine player. He's not a guy who you would ever think about getting the most votes ever. Not most votes ever, the most votes this year among American League All-Stars. Top vote getters for. Let me just give you some of the name. By year. Get the rest of your comment in a second. So here's some of the American League guys. Aaron Judge, Ohtani, Judge, Guerrero, Trout, Altuve, Bryce Harper. Ernie Clement. What doesn't belong and why? I wanted to see the whole history of it. Oh, here we go. Nah, it's not going to give it to me. Anyway, that's a small sample size. He's a fine player, but he shouldn't be. It becomes a marketing, an exercise in marketing campaigns. So you voted 5 times for like 10 days in a row. So you voted 5 times a day for 10 days. So are you saying you voted 50 times? Is that what you're saying? And only one time did I vote the American League players. I went directly to the National League on the rest of my ballots. You can vote both, correct? At least in the old days you could. I haven't voted in years. Last time I voted is when you would pick up the Gillette thing at the ballpark, or sometimes you can get it at certain newsstands. Well, that's interesting. So you're saying you voted 50 times. But the Dodgers, I don't know that the Dodgers really stuffed the ballot box. I mean, who's the starters for the National League? Freddie Freeman, I would say belongs. Max Muncy probably doesn't belong. Disagree? I know you're a homer. I'm just saying, if you weren't a homer and you were looking at this objectively, would you say that Max Muncy belongs? I'd say no. Padges has had a decent first half. I'm guessing there are other guys that, Jordan Walker, Corbin Carroll, they're all reserves. I would think they could deserve consideration. And then your vote didn't come into play, I don't think, with the pitchers at all. And you only got one. Yamamoto's the only pitcher. I'm a little surprised. So, again, you voted 50 times. Is that right? I could be misreading that. I'm guessing the MLB voting is only USA, not worldwide. I think that's absolutely true. I think because I don't know. What's to stop a guy from Japan logging into MLB.com and voting? I don't think there's anything stopping them. I could be wrong. Yes, Danny, by all means, enjoy the game and give us a report on the crowd tomorrow morning. Would you pop on and let us know? I'm interested what a crowd. Again, Sophie Cunningham's a draw, I guess, right? But she's not Caitlin Clark. I'm not saying she's not worthy of being Caitlin Clark. I'm interested in what the attendance is. So you did vote 50 times. You put Max Muncy over the top all by yourself. Well done, Danny. Listen, there's nothing to prohibit it, so God bless you. So the All-Star voting becomes an exercise in stuffing the ballot and marketing campaigns, right? So, but that's fine. It's a fans' game, so I think fans should be able to see who they want. And I think the leagues, and they did do this with Bryce Harper. They made him a legacy pick, right? Hey, look who's here. Come here. Hi. Hello. Look who's here. Hi. Give me a kiss right here. Give me a kiss right here. Give me a kiss right there. Yeah, that's my. Say hello. Aww. Hello. Say, Danny, you shouldn't have stuffed the ballot box. Okay. Yeah. I'm only going to be on a few more minutes. Okay. Danny, you shouldn't have stuffed the ballot box.
Danny shouldn't have stuffed the ballot box.
I love you. See, even the little ones know. What's he got to say now for himself? What are you doing? What do you want to say? You want to say anything to people out there? Say hi.
Hi.
I love my papa.
I love my papa.
I know you do. You're the best. So maybe we'll wrap it up early here. What do you think? The future of podcasting. That's right. You're the future.
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast. They're calling me a beast.
Why?
Do I look like a beast?
Mm-mm.
But you are beauty, that's for sure. Can you see yourself there?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a pretty girl, isn't she? Get your head up there higher. Get up. Hi. What do you think about Aaron Boone? Should he get fired?
No.
No?
Yeah.
We should fire Aaron Boone.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire Aaron Boone. What else you want to say to these people? Anything?
I want to build with those blocks.
She wants to play with the blocks. Okay, here. There you go.
Play with these.
What else you guys got before we wrap it up here? Next year, Daddy won't stuff the ballot box just because you said so. I can get her to say anything I want, so be careful. Wow, we got a big crowd today. Big crowd. Did you have fun on the lake yesterday?
Grandpa,
What?
do you want to see Ryzen build?
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm watching her build the blocks. This is exciting stuff here. If you guys are paying close attention. Make sure. Well, anyway, I hope you guys have a great. We're about done, I think. Anyway, what do you think? Oh, look what we made. Good job. Good job.
But it's not done yet.
This has become the Miss Rachel show now instead of Sunday Stream of Consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See. Great way to end the show. I agree. See, all you guys who think I'm a blowhard, I got somebody who loves me, right? Oh, there's your daddy. I don't know what he said. He didn't say anything, though. You see that name right there? It says Jacob Maxwell. Who's that?
Get my daddy.
That's your daddy. That's right. She's building a block. Rachel, have fun. Not Rachel, it's Scarlett. Sorry. I was making a comment about a kids.
I have no
podcast.
Rachel on my TV.
You do, I know. She has Miss Rachel on her TV. This is Miss Scarlett, though. What's your name?
Sorry.
Scarlett May
Not
Maxwell. Scarlett May Maxwell. Oh, he sent stars? Oh, that's what happens when you send stars. That's right, too. I forgot about that. Maybe he did then. Good. For Daddy sent stars to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give them all to you. Give them all to you. All right, guys. We're going to say goodbye from there. We'll see you tomorrow morning with Jack and Jack and Keith's Weekend Playbook. We'll talk more about the USA's World Cup and the chances tomorrow night and more of those games today. We got a couple games. I think Brazil and Norway play today, and Mexico and England play today. So that should be an interesting game, and we'll see more of that tomorrow. Oops, there's a heart. All right, guys. Have a good day. If you're still partying, have a good day. Engle. Bye-bye.